Hello and welcome to beautiful sunny Alastaro in Finland for round 2 of the FIA and FIM Drag Racing Championships. The new track here at Alastaro has been a little bit tricky through qualifying, but now it's race day. All the teams are trying to step it up and go as fast as possible. It's going to be one very exciting day. The one thing for sure, the weather isn't going to be the winner here in Finland. I'm here in the pits with Championship promoter Keith Bartlett. And Keith, another glorious weekend in Alastaro. How's it gone?
It's been a great weekend. Sadly, it's been actually a marginal track. As you know, a new surface was laid and they had a few problems and had to relay the surface as little as 2 weeks ago. That arose to a problem of time to get the track ready in time. Then we had bad weather last weekend, so the track prep was limited to what it should have been. It left the track not all to the standard they all would have hoped, especially the top fuel teams. So we ended up with what we term as a marginal track, and on a marginal track it's been difficult.
We're in the Prostock bike pits with Fredrik Friedland, #1 from last summer. Fredrik, how's this summer's championship going so far?
It's going okay for us, performance-wise. We were in England, the first event, but unfortunately it was a rain out there. Now we're here in the Finland Alastaro and the sun is shining, and we're going to see some racing today.
Well, we're all looking forward to it, and most importantly, the music won't drive us mad as well, will it?
No.
So we're into the semi-finals of Prostock bike for the FIM this weekend at Alastaro in Finland. Fredrik Friedland was a class of the field in qualifying, the only bike in the 7.0s. He's got a bye run in this semi-final race and goes through with another 7.0 at 7.07. So one of these two is going to be his opponent in the final. Far lane on the yellow and black bike, that's Timo Salvalainen from Finland, running much better this weekend, setting personal best during qualifying up against Jan Lesueur. The man who was #2 qualifier this weekend, he was #2 at Santapod as well. And at the moment, yep, he's really train lengthening. Timo Salvalainen with a nice 7.20. He may have to step that up in the final to have a chance against Freddie. So confirmation of that, these two I think are going to be butting heads all year long in Prostock bike. Christian Jäger from Germany, going a little bit better this season. Christian, how's everything been going so far?
It's so unbelievable when you go fast. It's much more easier to drive, but yeah, you know, it's a little bit more work, but it's okay for me. I love this.
Well, we're on to the semi-finals for Super Twin. Near lane, just doing his burnout there. That's Petri Mattsson on one of the really good Super Twins they've got up here in Finland. There's a number of them entered here this weekend. And on the other side of the racetrack, the man we just saw the interview with, Christian Jäger, championship aspirations for this summer. Sponsored by DeWalt, the bike, a really professional outfit. Looking for a place in the final. Well, Christian leaves Petri for dead on the start line. No problems at all in the right-hand lane. He clicks it off a little early, but rolls on through with another low 7-second run, even with a shootout in the breeze at the top end as well. So Christian Jäger will be in the final, and we're about to find out who he's going to be racing against now. Ronnie Olsen, which your #1 qualifier, went 6.50 in the first qualifying session, but unfortunately broke the bike in his round 1 win. It would be Samu Kampanen from Finland going up against Christian Jäger from Germany for all the marbles in FIM Super Twin. Well, the quickest and most powerful bike on the property this weekend, Ian King. Fantastic #1 qualifying run on what could be called a marginal racetrack. How did you do it?
Well, I mean, the thing is, the track's the same for everyone. We knew the track would be quite tricky because it's brand new. And we just looked over our data, looked at the sort of conditions we had to run in, and set the right tune for the right track.
Well, set the right tune up. He did #1 qualifier by a bunch in Top Fuel bike was Ian King, and also a new track record. He's going up in this semi-final matchup against Jan Sture Hegra, the guy we used to see riding in Super Twin, now stepped up to Top Fuel with the Ugerug brothers bike from Norway. Both of these are Puma machines. Let's see what Jan Sture, the young man from Norway, has got for Ian King at the moment. Not enough. Ian with another fantastic straight run and another new track record. Even with the slow speed, 204 miles an hour, Ian goes 6.15. So waiting for one of these two in the final. That's Rikard Gustafsson and Fast Phil Papaphilippou from Greece. Unfortunately, Phil not on his normal bike that he runs in FIM competition this weekend. Rikard Gustafsson is, and it shows, 6.76 to set up a date. We're going to see these two clashing all year long too. #1 qualifier in FIA Prostock is Jimmy Orland. No surprise there, Jimmy, but the time might be a bit of a surprise, but you did the best job of getting down the racetrack.
It's a very tricky track, and the organizer has done everything they can to make it, good for us. But unfortunately, the asphalt was put down a little bit too late, I guess. So everybody are working hard, but right now you can flip a coin and see what's happening. I mean, it's a game. I mean, anybody can win out there.
Well, Jimmy survived round 1 with the KW Parts team and also set low ET the weekend with a 6.77. He's in the semi-final against Magnus Pettersson from Sweden. The start line has been very tricky for the Pro Stockers, but once again, Jimmy Orland and the team get it right. He goes through for another round win and 6.80. He's in the final. But who is he going to be up against? Michael Malmgren hasn't been to the final for a long while. He's in the right-hand lane as you look down the racetrack. That's Christian Sargelv with a Ford Escort. Yes, that is a Ford power plant in there as well. He took out Thomas Lindström in a shock in round 1. I don't think he's going to do it against Michael Malmgren this time, though. It is the old stager himself, Michael Malmgren, with another 6.80, a 6.85, going up against Jimmy Orland for all the marbles in Prostock. So, FIA Pro Modified. These guys had a bit of a time getting down the racetrack in qualifying and gone in round 1. Big shock was defending European champ Mickey Gallquist. This is Tammy Brander from Finland, left-hand side of the racetrack. Your #1 qualifier was Matthias Vulcan. Near lane, and what a race as well. Matthias Vulcan takes it 6.22 up against Tammy Brander's 6.35. He will be in the final. He was #2 in the championship last year, looking to do better things this summer. And with Mickey Gallquist going out in round 1, and also Mark Mayhausen from the Netherlands did not qualify this weekend. So huge shake-ups in the points. We're only at the start of the season. Tero Laukkanen with the Turbo Mustang up against Roger Johansson with the nitrous car. Roger Johansson's been very close on the elapsed time so far this weekend. They both drift out of the groove towards the left, but it is Roger Johansson for the first time in years. It will be a nitrous car in the final of Pro Mod. And he'll be going up against his fellow Swede, Matthias Vulcan. #1 qualifier in Top Methanol Funny Car, Johan Lindberg. You got down the track really well yesterday, didn't you?
Yeah, the team has worked very hard to understand how the track is here. Yeah, and they work very hard, and we managed to go at least one round pretty fast. So, yeah.
Yep, the Lindberg boys, that's his brother Johnny putting him in stage. Johnny actually runs the other Lindberg brothers car in the States. Back to Europe for this weekend to run Johan's car. So the only car in the 5s in qualifying. Let's see what Johan can do on this round 1 solo. Takes it with a very nice 5.83, 2.51. A little off their usual pace, but it is very, very hot and humid here in Alastaro. So to see who will be in the final with him, we have 2 Finns. Johnny Oxa with the Dodge Charger being helped out this weekend by Jürgen Leanders. He of Leanders Brothers Clutch fame, helping out with some of the tuning on the car, I'm sure, for this weekend. Up against Ari Pichari, and Ari with the Dodge Intrepid. He's been in the 5s with his car, but not this weekend, and a lot of tyre smoke away from the line. You can see the crew celebrating already for Johnny Oxa. 6.11, 2.36, sets up a date to try and take all the marbles for Finland in the final against that pesky Swede, Johan Lindberg. So the big crowd here on hand at Alastaro really enjoying the glorious weather. I'm so glad we can finally say that. And we have top Methanol Dragster semi-finals coming at you. This is Stefan Gunnarsson, his first ever race ever in any class. The car that he brought in from the States over the winter, tuned by Peter Lance, you may remember that name from old, up against the Kalanch car from the beautiful island of Malta. This is Chris Polidano, tuned by the legend himself. All the way from California, Jerry Durian. Well, they were both away very evenly, but Stefan Gunnarsson spun the tyres even before the rear wheels went across the start line. Chris Polidano with a really nice 5.58 booming speed as well. 266 miles an hour. Well, the problem's fairly obvious for Stefan Gunnarsson, but still a good weekend for the team. Personal best in qualifying. I'm sure he'll be doing really well for the rest of the summer in top Methanol Dragster. So the next pair, the Mr. Whippy car, again from Malta. Once again, a Maltese invasion in this class. That's 2012 champ, Manti Bagaya, being guided into stage by the car owner, Joe Carabot. Interestingly, he's the only supercharged methanol car here this week. On the far side of the racetrack is Johnny Lag with the injected nitro car. Let's see how this one goes. Should be very even indeed. Johnny Lag with a big hole shot off the start line. The blown car running him down and just gets there in time. Manti Bagaya really got away with one that time round. 5.59 to 5.78, and it will be an all Maltese final in top Methanol Dragster. It's Chris against Manti. Anita, obviously you're racing in the championship. How did it come about that you decided to race two cars this weekend?
Of course, me as a wife have to allow husband to have some fun as well. And he is a good driver, and because he gave me the seat of our top fuel operation, so it's time for him to have some fun, and I enjoy giving this opportunity to him as well.
Number one qualifier in FIA Top Fuel, Thomas Natos. You guys did such a great job getting down the racetrack. What was it like being in the car? Because the track was quite tricky, wasn't it?
Yeah, the track is really tricky, and it's totally different from the 390 we ran at Santa Pod at the first event, so it's kind of slow, but it's hard to get the right tune-up for it, so yeah, everybody's struggling.
Well, the Andersons did the best job of getting down the racetrack during qualifying and in round one as well. They match up with the fellow Danish team of Stig Nergård here in Finland. Stig looking for his first ever win. That's the Eye of the Storm Dragster in the near lane, tuned by the American John Smith, up against the all-conquering Anderson boys from Denmark with a Norwegian at the wheel. That's Thomas Natos. They won the championship by a bit of a margin last summer. There's a lot of teams, though, this year really want to do something about that. Both of the Urbacher cars went out in round one. Was a little bit of a shock, that one, but top fuel in Europe these days is so tough, you just cannot predict what's going to happen. So Thomas has been on the rail so far this weekend. Stig has smoked the tyres every time down the racetrack. This for a berth in the final for Alastaro. Away dead even, Stig strikes the tyres again, but Thomas with the engine on fire gets beaten by Stig Nergård. That is a shock. They were very even away from the line. Looked like Thomas had this one in the bag when Stig went up in smoke, but no. Big sacrifice to the aluminium gods. What actually happened in there was one of the lifters broken. All sorts of things went wrong for Thomas. Big holes in the engine and, well, not the way they wanted to end the weekend. They still picked up a bag of points, but they really wanted to take that event win. So Stig Nergård awaits in the final for one of these two. Anita Merkula, we heard from her a little earlier on, up against Antti Horta. I think this is going to be Antti's only championship appearance of the year. He won back at the main event at Sansapod last year and was a real contender for the 2013 championship, but things started to go wrong from Hockenheim onwards for the team. They're only going to be testing, by the looks of it, this weekend here in Alastaro. Had a great run in round one. Anita Merkula took out Urs Urbacher. Well, Antti gets the drop on the start line. The tyres go up in smoke around about half track. He gets out of it, and Anita goes through with a 4:51 at 2:52. Not quite the numbers we normally expect to see from top fuel cars, but it's very, very hot out here, and the track is tricky, as they keep mentioning. So, in the replay, you can clearly see Antti move first, but when the tyres went up in smoke, that was the end of it. Anita nearly clipped the wall past the finish line, but most importantly, got the win light. So it'll be Finland against Denmark in the final of top fuel. Down here on the start line at Alastaro, the tension is building for the finals for the FIA and FIM championship races here today. All the crew chiefs out on the start line, checking things out, making sure the setup is absolutely perfect, because everybody wants to go home with a big trophy and only one person can in each class. We're about to find out exactly who did. First up for all the marbles in FIM Prostock bike, near side the racetrack, the Euro Buell. That's Gert-Jan Lesueur. Far lane is the Play Amongst Friends 4-cylinder bike from the beautiful island of Åland. Fredrik Friedland, this is his home race. Both away very evenly indeed. Gert-Jan drifts out of the groove towards the right. And it's Fredrik Friedland, 7.09, and the points lead.
The other Play Amongst Friends Suzuki has been flying all weekend. Unfortunately, the track has not been there, but we have managed to go low numbers. But we want to go to the 6th. You know, that is our target every race we come to. And Alastaro track is new surface on, and we really thought it should be the 6th should come here, but the track has not been 100%, but it was been okay.
Confirmation of that result in his home race, Fredrik Friedland in the points lead. So next up, the big Nitro twins from Germany, Christian Jaeger, and the home boy, that is Samu Kampanen, who was #1 qualifier at Santa Pod. He's been running pretty well this weekend. But tyre smoke before the 60-foot beam, and Christian Jaeger goes all the way through, 6-second run in the final. And a very well-deserved win for him and the team.
We are very happy.
Just quickly, Rich, before you go any further, that graphic.
Very good job, and that's what we need the last time, or that we doesn't found. But now I'm sure that we have now the right baseline and everything is good, and we can work on faster times.
Well, fast times is what he'll need for the rest of the season. The next race is his home race in Germany. So FIM top fuel bike is up next. It's going to be the turbo funny bike of Rickard Gustafsson. Normally deadly consistent, but the man who's been even more consistent and quicker so far this weekend, setting track record after track record, is Ian King from the UK. Started out the season with a win in Valdosta in the US. Yep, he beat all the Americans and came home and trying to do the same thing back in Europe. He's a multi-time European champ, is Ian King. Rickard Gustafsson would like nothing more than to take that crown away from him. He has done it before, but that was quite a few years ago now. So for all the marbles in top fuel bike, Ian King already into stage, Rickard Gustafsson rolling it in, but Rickard Gustafsson didn't make it into full staging time, so Ian King gets the green light and thunders through with another low 6.26 at 212 miles an hour. You can see here the staging miscue. Rickard Gustafsson not quite into staging time, and it was all about Ian King.
We were quite consistent all the way through, which was actually the main thing. As the day wore on and the track got hotter and there was more glue down, it was getting a little bit greasy. That was why we didn't improve on our previous times. But 6.26 in those conditions was still pretty good.
Well, that leaderboard looks like it did at the end of the last year, with Ian King in front and Rickard Gustafsson in second. So these two squaring up for the final. Michael Malmgren against Jimmy Orland. Now at the European finals last year, this was the race as well. All last summer, apart from one event, it was the Jimmy and Thomas show, as in Thomas Lindström. Thomas went out in round 1 this weekend in Finland. and a good chance for other drivers to make a big move in the points. Jimmy Holland is always tough to catch if he gets out in front. Well, it's Jim who gets the drop off the start line, but they both spin the tyres at the hit of the throttle. And it's Michael Malmgren with the lead and the event win as well. 6.94 slows up a little bit from earlier in the weekend. Jimmy Holland with a mid-7. And it is Michael Malmgren taking the win in Finland.
Jimmy Holland is extremely hard to beat. I mean, he's the real pro guy out there. He has the best parts, very good driver and all that. He leaves nothing on the table normally. But we did what we're supposed to do. I'm real happy for my guys, you know, for Europa Flyer Oakley, all the people supporting me with parts and all that. I mean, I still haven't really sucked in. I mean, I'm kind of, it's just, I mean, because, I mean, he's the guy to beat, and we did it, and I'm so proud, you know, for my guys and for the whole team. I got this nice piece of equipment from Jerry Haas. I just love it. I mean,
Michael Malmgren speechless at the end of the interview. He's in the points lead. Let's see if he can hold it for the rest of the season. The other fast door class in FIA drag racing, this is Pro Modified. Matthias Falken with the supercharged Firebird in the right-hand lane as you look at it. Going up against Roger Johansson. This is the first time a nitrous car has got to the final since I honestly can't remember when. Years, actually. The blown cars have dominated everything, but the turbo cars and the nitrous cars are making a comeback. This weekend has been all about Matthias Falken so far. He's been in the low 6.2s. That cracking looking Mustang of Roger Johansson has also been in the 6.2s as well. I do know that they've tried to step it up for the final. They really want this win here in Finland. Whoever wins this is going to take the points lead. Dead even off the start line. They both drift to the left. Roger Johansson nearly gets the wall with the nitrous car. It is Matthias Falken with another 6.22 win and the points lead for the number 2 driver from the championship last year. Congratulations to him and the team. They really did a good job this weekend.
It has been really great, and the team has worked together, and the car has gone smooth all the time down the strip. And when the crew chief setting up the car really soft, it's going down the track really easy.
And that's his crew chief, Krista, right there, looking very happy indeed. Can Matthias Falken keep that lead all season? The top Methanol Funny Car final will be Sweden against Finland. For the home team, it's going to be Johnny Oxer. That's how warm it was in Alastaro. It's very, very hot. Very difficult to get down the racetrack as well. Johnny Oxer ran a 6.1 in the semi. Johan Lindberg was down in the 5.80s. Let's see what they've got for everybody in the final round. Well, it's Johnny moving first off the starting line visibly, but tyre smoke by the 60-foot. And it is all about Johan Lindberg. A 6.1 this time round. A lot of shaking and pedalling going on. Johnny Oxer, if he'd have just repeated what he did in the semis, he may have taken that win. Yep, you can clearly see him move first, but Johan Lindberg with the horsepower and the driving to take the win here. Yep, the Dodge clearly moved first there, and it's a very happy Johan Lindberg with the win and the lead in the championship points.
What can I say? The team has done a very good job with the cars, so I even can go down this track. So yeah, it was nice to have this win. Absolutely.
Last year it was his brother. This year it's Johan on top of the points in TMFC. So the other top Methanol class is the Dragsters, and it's an all Maltese affair. Both of these two have travelled just about further than anybody else to get here. In fact, as far as 4,000 kilometres, both of them. So it is the supercharged methanol car of your 2012 FIA Top Methanol Dragster champ. That's Manti Bugay, the Mr. Whippy team, and Joe Carabot, and all the guys from the island going up against Chris Polidano, the Callanch car, tuned by one of the most experienced men in A-Fuel racing. That's Jerry Durian. Now, traditionally, the way this works is that the supercharged car gets out much quicker from the start line, but then the A Fuel car makes the horsepower going down the racetrack and comes on very strong at the top end. So let's see who's going to get there first. They're both away dead even off the start line, and it is Mansi Bugaya out in front, but here comes the A Fuel car. No, it is Mansi by 3 measly hundredths of a second. That was so close. He takes the win in Top Methanol Dragster in Finland. That final looked like it was a really close race.
We worked hard, all the crew worked hard, you know, to get the car going down the track. Well, we've done a good 60 feet now. That's what made us win the race.
Mansi Bugaya on top of the pile at the moment in TMD. It's going to get a lot tougher as the year wears on. Well, the last class racing for a trophy here this weekend at Alastaro, and they are the kings of the sport. 8,000 brake horsepower top fuel dragsters, and it is Stig Nergård hoping to break his final round jinx. He's been to the final many times before, and unfortunately for the team, always come up short. You never know, in Finland might be that time. So far, we've had a couple of Finns going after the trophies in Alastaro. Can Anita Merkilä win at her home race? She won 12 months ago. Could now be the time she does it again. This team so committed to the championship. As we said before, they brought out 2 cars this weekend. Tommy unfortunately didn't qualify. It's down to his wife to try and get it done in the Top Fuel final. Very, very tense indeed. I know John Smith has put a good tune-up in the car for Stig Nergård. Will it stick? Can he beat Anita? They're away even. He's out in front at the moment, and it is Stig Nergård. After all that trying in the 4.4s, 2:55, takes the event win. And this is a slow-mo that his team are going to want to watch again and again. It's the first time he goes through to the finish line first in a final. Stig, after how many finals we were saying earlier, you finally did it. Well done.
Oh yeah, we're happy, of course. I'm pretty sure we was in the final 20 times, and we have 20 number 2 trophy, and now we get number 1.
Well, it's a Danish team at the top of the points in Top Fuel, but not the usual one. Stig Nergård. Anita Merkilä is second, Thomas is third. Well, I said at the start of the show the weather wouldn't win today, and it definitely didn't. It's still glorious sunshine. Everybody behind me is gathering for the trophy presentations. They always go down quite well in Finland. It's been a great race day. Some big shake-ups in the points for both FIA and the FIM races as well. Now the whole circus moves down to Hockenheim in Germany in just a few weeks' time. Please join us for that one. You won't want to miss it.